Can somebody tell me when a lot of these poets decide to become modern-day superheroes? Transformers, Autobots by day and Decepticons on the mic. And how many of us believe in the things that we write rather than write what we think people will believe? And when we realize that this is a movement and be satisfied with just being ourselves and go back to getting creative and stop fucking repeating ourselves, for instance, dear bitter black woman poet, I realized after the last 4 poems you did that you've been heard. And you could scream that until your face turns purple and blue. And I understand you don't need a man. So now my question to you is, what are you doing to heal yourself? And yes, it's cool to talk about loving a woman or hating a man, but it's not okay to admit that you've had a one-night stand and gotten down with somebody for just one night, because that wouldn't look good for your image in this poetry game, right? I mean, just think what these people would do if they knew us poets were actually human. I mean, think what some of these pro-black revolutionary poets would do if they knew I like my bacon extra crispy and would fuck up a pork chop. I might get my red, black, and green wristband revoked the ban from talking about the revolution, because all poets talk about the revolution. It seems like you're not a poet who talks about the revolution, you're a poet who talks about poets who talk about the revolution. And if their definition of the revolution isn't yours and theirs is wrong, would somehow automatically make sure it's right. But since everything you write is so real, even though you don't practice any of that shit off the mic, you feel it gives you the right to tell everybody else what they write is wrong. But who the fuck are you? And fuck being humble. I've been at this to say. I'm just tired of some of these poets getting up here and talking about how we as the people seem to have forgotten where we come from, when those be some of the same poets that seem to have forgotten why they started doing the spoken word in the first place. It seems like we're going from genuine poets to slam poets and write poems with the strict intention of getting first place, and you can burn my resume. I know who I am. It just so happens that the first place I did my first piece was at a slam. So while some write for the spotlight, I'll sit in the back soaking up the game, injecting wisdom through my veins, and my plan is to eventually overdose. And when I do, I hope my body overflows with it. So when it's all over, my words are all over. No one can say that Prentice never tried to make a difference to those who never tried to make a difference. And in between those who need guidance and those who can walk this path with their eyes closed, I tried to make up that difference. And know those of us that live the things we say can tell the difference between those who mean it and those who write love poems but have done absolutely nothing but fuck in their life. And I'm tired of hearing poets talking about keeping it real, knowing poetry still hasn't earned you your first honest buck in your life. This game is getting tainted, and some of us are liars. Some of us only do this because our first couple of dreams of things we aspired to be have already expired. So we find ourselves coming down from our little dream world and need something to take us higher, which I guess explains the Jordan in one pocket and the other a lot. It's a shame that some of us need drugs to enhance our creative right, but for some of us, that's not enough still. Some of us only do this for the same reason cats still on that block sipping that NyQuil, just so your dreams can last longer. And can you believe that some people aren't willing to say they piece unless there's at least 300 people in these here seats? Some people write a piece just to try to get a piece. Some promote peace, but in the streets, they carry a piece. Some work hard at uplifting everybody else while their own family falls to pieces. People, this is not a diss, this is a request. Stop selling wolf tickets to a free movement, because no one's buying them. And realize it's gonna take more than just your word to save the world. So take off the capes, the mask, be satisfied with just being you, and stop trying to be fucking superheroes.